Today's episode is brought to you by Forvis Mazars.
SoundCartel.
From SoundCartel, I'm Nicole Goodman, and this is Business Essentials Daily. People who come to your website are there deliberately. They kind of know what to expect. Your website should be part of your bigger business goals. It should lead to direct inquiries and then into sales. That's according to Amy Majasiewicz, co-founder of Quarterback and author of The Very Good Marketing Guide, How to Grow Your Business on a Budget. Shortly, Amy explains the 7 essentials for a high-performing website, including the 6-second first impression. But first, she tells Chris Ashmore the importance of a website is to get people to take action.
The website's entire job is just to get them to pick up the phone or to leave an inquiry or possibly to download some kind of lead generator, or in an e-commerce sense, often it's the case that, you're trying to actually get them to purchase from you. And some websites will, depending on your industry, will convert around 3%. And we normally recommend somewhere between 2 and 5%. With an e-commerce website, anything up to 5, 6, 7% might be fantastic as well. And that conversion rate, although it's not the be-all and end-all, it does give you a bit of a guide to compare your website now with, so you know what to improve on or actually how to look at it critically. So maybe you want 20 customers a month and you're a service-based business, so you get inquiries from your website, and you know that to get 20 customers a month, your sales reps converted around 50% means you need 40 leads a month. And really what you're dealing with here at a 3% conversion rate means you need 1,300 visitors on your website per month. And that is a big number.
It is, absolutely. Does it have to cost a lot of money for a business to build their website?
Not at all. And this is a really weird thing. Websites over the last few years, I guess, they range from paying someone, a freelancer somewhere internationally $100 to build a website, all the way through to building a website for $20,000. And it's really hard for, I think, a business to understand whether that dollar value is going to change the success of their website or not. And a lot of the time it doesn't have anything to do with success. It's actually more to do with the technology behind the site itself. And that's something to remember. There is no harm or shame in building a website on a DIY platform yourself in the middle of the night, as long as you can stick to the techniques that will convert as many customers as possible. And those techniques exist regardless of the technology of the site.
Okay, well, let's look at some of those techniques and perhaps some of the essentials or list of essentials that you describe in your book. And you have 7 S's in your list.
Yes.
For a high-performing website. Can you run us through each one?
Well, the first one that we talk about is what we call a 6-second impression. And that comes from this above-the-fold idea. So back in the day when a newspaper was delivered, it was folded in half and placed down on the doorstep. Everything above the fold of the paper on the front was called your above the fold message. And that real estate is really important, because if you saw it wasn't interesting, you'd walk right by, right? And a website is the same. Before you scroll, as soon as the site loads on a browser or on your phone, that is the above the fold 6-second impression that someone is going to get of your entire business. And getting that right, it's gold. And so many businesses, I guess, don't use it like important real estate. They try and create something fancy and videos and all that kind of stuff. But what you really want to do is one of 3 things. You want to very clearly explain in the words and pictures how you solve a customer's problems. So the easiest example I have is we stop your cat from clawing the furniture. And I don't know how this fictitious business does that, but they do it well. The second example is promising to solve a problem or painting a picture of success. That is more like, we'll make you a pro in the kitchen if you were selling cooking classes, right? And that's a really great example because it paints this picture of success, and possibly the words say we make you a pro in the kitchen, and the picture is someone who's a pro in the kitchen. And the third one is very clearly stating what it is you do. And that's another option if you can't do the first two. Very clearly stating what you do could be as easy as, we sell books and coffee, and you're a book cafe. And it sounds really simple because so many businesses think they have to say something clever in that above the fold message on your homepage. But the people coming to your website that you want to capture are the people that don't know anything about you. They're not coming back again and again. You don't need to keep changing it up. It's the very first time they see your website, you want to communicate one of those three things straight away. And that's going to determine how likely they are to become a lead or take those next steps. And that's what we call the 6-second impression. So that's the very first thing that we call the 7 S's.
Forvis Mazars, audit, tax and advisory firm, is global to see the big picture and local to understand it. Move forward with Forvis Mazars. Visit forvismazars.com/au. That's FORVISMAZARS.com/au.
Beyond that, what you've got is a clear sitemap, very important. Logicians, we call them logical readers, will look across the sitemap rather than scroll down, and that is very important to make sure your sitemap mirrors your business structure so it's clear and easy to understand. The third S is the next steps. You will be so surprised how many businesses don't very clearly tell someone what they need to do next. So next steps is contact us, inquire now, and it's a button that looks different to the rest of your website and you want to say it over and over and over again. The next S, solving problems. Again, same thing. Explain how you solve someone's problems. Sidekick mode. So you're not the hero of the story. The customer is. Your business doesn't come first. We win all these awards. It's, we know we can help you solve these problems, and here are the awards that prove it. It's a different kind of language. The next S is a picture of success. And a picture of success is how you use imagery on your website to convert visitors into leads. So imagery is obviously very, very important. And a lot of businesses that may not have a lot of clear images of customers struggle to find the right imagery. So stock imagery is often used, which is absolutely fine. But the key here is to very carefully select images that represent success for the customer. So a lot of people that go on websites, I mean, you and me, visual people. So there's a visual element that comes with connection. And if you are using pictures of someone smiling and happy, maybe they don't even have your product in their hand or using your service. Maybe it's just them feeling relaxed after they have consumed your product or service, because that's what success feels like. And that's what it looks like in an image. And it's very, very important because it can change the whole perception of what you're trying to sell on your website. And then the last S is what we call soft leads. And that is something that everyone would have seen before as a consumer, and it's offering something in exchange for your email address. So it's saying, hey, I'm not quite ready to inquire yet, but I am comfortable putting in my email address to get a 10% off voucher or to get a free PDF. So maybe next time when I'm ready, I've got that information on hand.
It just illustrates how important a website is to a business. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, and it's a really tricky one because it's not everything. Like, it's not the be-all and end-all, and there are so many ways of not using a website, to get a customer, but it's still essential, and it's a big part of this whole customer journey, and it's something that I think every business should look at critically against these 7 essential S's, because that itself is free to do, really to have a look at and compare, and adding some of these elements could cost you next to nothing, but can change your entire business trajectory.
That was co-founder of Quarterback, Amy Majasevich. This episode of Business Essentials Daily is produced by the team at SoundCartel. Thanks for listening. I'm Nicole Goodman. We'll bring you more Be Daily tomorrow. Follow at BE Daily Podcast across social media and head to bedaily.com.au for more from the Business Essentials Daily podcast. SoundCartel. This episode was brought to you by Forvis Mazars. To find out more, visit forvismazars.com/au. That's FORVISMAZARS.com/au.